Melody Shari has finally broken her silence and tossed Carlos King aside without a shred of regret. If you've even glanced at the Huntsville scene lately, then you know Queen Melody Shari isn't just playing reality TV, she's rewriting the entire rulebook. She's not whispering for clout. She's flipping tables, kicking down doors, and shredding tired scripts like yesterday's garbage. And the internet. It's devouring every second of it. But beneath the sass, the shady quotes, and those slick Instagram posts lies a much deeper war, one that's been boiling quietly for years. This isn't some throwaway reality subplot, it's a calculated power shift, and Melody is right in the eye of the storm. Let's get one thing straight. Melody didn't stumble into success. She built her empire brick by brick, and every single brick came at a cost. When she boldly declared, "Don't save crap," it wasn't a cute one-liner, it was a warning shot. She's done with fake loyalty, polished lies, and grinning faces that hide knives. And that savage attitude, it didn't just appear overnight. It was forged in fire, after being burned over and over again. What most people forget is how long Melody has been maneuvering in this cutthroat game. Before the flashing lights and viral hashtags, she was already grinding, whether it was holding her ground in messy showdowns or slicing through drama without breaking a sweat. She's always been 3 moves ahead, mid-scene without even breaking a nail. She's always been 2 moves ahead. And now that the spotlight's hers, she's not dimming it for anybody, not even Carlos King. Oh, we're gonna talk about Carlos, because when it comes to reality TV puppet strings, he's usually the one yanking them. Producer, insider, puppet master, he's been at the center of more chaos than anyone can count. But with Melody, this time the script flipped. Rumors exploded when word spread she had flat out rejected a major deal from him. And she didn't do it quietly either. That single, no sent shockwaves nobody expected. Why? Because when Carlos King hands you an offer and you hit him with an "Hey, I'm good," you're not just rejecting, you're announcing power. Carlos has seen it all. He's built stars, aired dirty laundry, and crafted scandals into ratings gold. But Melody refusing his deal, that wasn't part of his master plan. Insiders swear he didn't shrug it off, not because his feelings got bruised. Carlos isn't exactly the emotional type, but because she shredded his usual playbook. Melody wasn't just another cast member anymore, she was staking her claim on creative control. And in unscripted TV, that's like grabbing the director's chair and declaring it yours. What's wild is how Carlos played it off: no tweets, no clapbacks, just dead silence. But behind closed doors, pure tension. Cast members started whispering. Some claimed Melody was getting too powerful for her own good. Others swore she was the only reason the audience still cared. Some swore she was the only reason people even bothered to watch. Either way, the energy shifted and the fallout hasn't stopped since. But Melody, she didn't blink. If anything, she went harder, showing up sharper, louder, and more deliberate than ever. Every move screamed strategy, calculated Instagram captions, public appearances with all the right names. And every single time someone tried to throw shade, she clapped back without chipping a nail. That's queen energy. But not the fairy tale tiara kind, it's chessboard energy, where every move is designed to put someone in check. And let's be real, fans are obsessed. The drama, the dominance, the unpredictability, it's addictive. Yet beneath the sparkle and chaos lurks one burning question. What's Melody really plotting? Because nobody just shrugs off a Carlos King deal unless they've got something even bigger up their sleeve. Something explosive enough to flip the entire Huntsville stage upside down. And trust Carlos didn't climb to the top by missing signals. When Melody made her move, he knew exactly what it meant. She was quietly building an empire. Not for the headlines, but brick by brick, methodical, and without asking a soul for permission. Word leaked that she wasn't rejecting him out of ego, she had a master plan. A blueprint not just for herself, but for how reality TV in Huntsville would function. And if there's one thing Carlos can't stomach, it's someone daring to rewrite the game he invented. Behind closed doors, producers started sweating. Melody was no longer just reacting, she was pitching storylines, shaping arcs, even whispering influence over which scenes made the final cut. That level of control, unheard of for someone still considered talent. But Melody wasn't interested in playing by the old rules, while everyone else scrambled just to survive scenes. She was already thinking seasons ahead, while others were busy just surviving scenes to stay relevant.
Pretty much it. I haven't heard anything, had never said anything else to him about it.
Before the vibe on set shifted. Cast members who once clung to Carlos started second-guessing their loyalty. Was siding with him the safe bet, or was riding with Melody the smarter long play? Some tried to straddle both, but in Huntsville, that game always ends ugly. See, Melody has a radar sharper than a lie detector for fake support, and once she senses it, she cuts the cord instantly. That's when alliances started cracking. 1 castmate once glued to her side suddenly vanished from her posts. Another got messy cryptic on Instagram, dropping shady quotes about loyalty and betrayal. The fans caught on fast, and just like that, the fandom split right down the middle. Team Melody versus Team everybody else. But this wasn't just social media drama. Behind the scenes, Melody was allegedly making moves that had producers sweating bullets. Word spread she was shopping a solo project, maybe a spin-off, maybe something totally outside Huntsville. No one could confirm, but whispers turned into rumors, and rumors turned into tense meetings. The higher-ups weren't thrilled, especially the ones who thought their power was untouchable. Carlos, publicly calm as ever, wasn't fooling insiders. They say he started showing up at meetings he used to skip, dropping suggestions that sounded more like veiled threats. The whole energy shifted, producers walking on eggshells, staff careful with every word. Because let's be real, when a king feels his crown slipping, he doesn't go down without a fight. Meanwhile, Melody, unbothered. On the surface, she looked carefree, launching a skincare line, snapping photos with fans, living her best life. But insiders swear every move was calculated, every smile strategic, every post another play in her takeover. Snapping pics with fans, dropping shade with elegance. Melody made it look effortless, but insiders insist she was laser-focused. Every move was deliberate. Every post had a mission. She wasn't just reacting to the chaos, she was orchestrating it. Then came one of the juiciest rumors. A cast insider swore Melody had access to footage no one else could touch. Early looks at scenes, maybe even tweaking edits. Sounds wild, but in reality TV, perception is power. And Melody is the queen of perception. The bombshell. She wasn't surrounding herself with randoms. Suddenly, PR sharks, branding agents, and power brokers outside Huntsville's bubble were circling her orbit. People like that don't clock in unless something massive is cooking. That's when it clicked. This wasn't about surviving a show, this was a full-on takeover. Melody wasn't trying to win the current game. She was crafting an entirely new one where she controlled every single piece. Huntsville had never seen a storm like this. While others scrambled for reunion drama and group scene relevance, Melody Shari was rewriting the blueprint of reality TV stardom. She didn't beg for camera time. She engineered her own spotlight, shaping her image from every angle: screen, social, and strategy. But even queens attract enemies, and some were bold enough to test her. Whispers spread about a mysterious file, not a folder, but a vault of private texts, receipts, maybe even footage that could smear her narrative. Real or bluff, it rattled her circle. People once untouchable by association suddenly wondered how far they'd go to defend her or themselves. Meanwhile, Carlos King, still quiet in public, was allegedly digging behind the scenes. Word is, he reached out to old castmates, especially the ones who'd clashed with Melody, before offering them space to spill. It wasn't blackmail, but it sure felt like chess pieces moving into position. Melody's old rivals were suddenly offered a stage to tell their truth. It wasn't outright blackmail, but it sure smelled like it. The message was clear. If Melody kept pushing, the walls would start caving in. But did she fold? Not a chance. She pulled the move no one saw coming. She called the bluff. She went live. Not some throwaway story or polished raw, Phase 2 camera stream, no notes, no filter. She didn't drop names, didn't spill direct tea, but she didn't need to. Every sentence dripped with meaning. Every look was a loaded weapon. She talked betrayal, fake friends, and those hiding behind shiny titles thinking it made them untouchable. And then she dropped the hammer. If anyone dared to expose dirt, they better come prepared, because she had a vault of her own. The internet went nuclear. Hashtags exploded. Reaction channels lit up within hours. And just like that, the ammo her enemies thought they held crumbled to dust. Once Melody declared she was ready for war, the fear shifted sides. Suddenly, people weren't asking if she'd survive, they were asking who she might drag down with her. But that kind of blaze doesn't come without chaos. Producers panicked as the show spun out of their control. What had once been reality TV storylines was now powered by raw, Real-life tension with consequences no script could contain. And then came the twist networks. Dread. Brands weren't calling the show anymore, they were calling Melody directly. She wasn't just a cast member now. She was a brand, a force, an empire in motion. And with that kind of leverage, she became the one thing every network fears most. Untouchable. Behind closed doors, the energy shifted, meetings stacked, contracts reviewed, and suddenly, the game board looked very different. Contracts were dissected, and suddenly the very people who once brushed Melody off as too much were now pitching her projects, begging for her insight, even sliding her creative control. Bit by bit, the power flipped. By the time the next season rolled around, Melody wasn't just talent, she was sitting at the damn table. Insiders swear she had a hand in shaping plots, steering casting calls, and deciding exactly which narratives got airtime and which ones hit the cutting room floor. For someone once just another name in the opening credits, it was a full-blown takeover. But don't expect her to brag, that's not her vibe. She simply sharpened her presence with every return, letting her silence and strategy speak louder than any viral soundbite ever could. And in a world drowning in noise, Queen Melody, Shari perfected the art of the controlled explosion. Not wild, not messy, just precise, surgical, and impossible to ignore. Now, all eyes are locked on her next move. Because in Huntsville, one fact cuts through every rumor and headline. When Melody Shari makes a move, the entire game doesn't just shift, it detonates.